This video includes my favorite action shots from the Topps baseball card sets of the 1990s. I'll begin with 1990. See a pretty good shot there of Paul Molitor at second base. The way that side of the screen works is pitcher, catcher, first base, Paul Molitor's at second, then Mickey Hatcher at third, Jim Presley at short, and then three outfield positions. And the outfielders, very often outfielders didn't pose for position, so as a kid you have to use your imagination, and whatever, usually it's a pitcher, winds up looking like he could be coming in from the outfield. And then on the right side are the hitters, starting with Vince Coleman batting leadoff, and then Mickey Hatcher second, Casey Candaele third, and so forth down the line to Delano DeShields batting ninth. Casey Candaele and Billy Hatcher have pretty good poses. Vince Coleman's kind of unique to have somebody bunting. You know how fast he was, so that's why he's in the leadoff spot. 1991 here, there's some good action shots at first base there. There's a pretty good shot. Second and third and short are pretty good. There's a pitcher at short. The Glenn Wilson in right field was a special card for me because that year I put together the set by just buying boxes and a large quantity of cards until I finally got all of the players in the set, and I think Glenn Wilson was the last one that I got to put that set together. Skeeter Barnes has a nice pose batting leadoff among the hitters, and then Tim Raines, the card says Rock Raines, it was another name for him, and he batted second. He's on a lot of these position cards. Terry Pendleton and Greg Vaughn also batting fourth and fifth. They have good poses there. Harold Baines, Hall of Famers, batting sixth. You got Dale Murphy there batting seventh with the Phillies in one of the couple of years he played for them. 1992. Interesting here is Gary Sheffield is at both third base and shortstop. He started with one of those teams, the Padres and the Brewers, at the beginning of the season, but then was traded in the middle of the season, so one of those cards is from the traded set. Second base has a good pose there. Among the hitters, a couple seasons where I have Ricky Henderson batting leadoff. He looks like he's hit the ball well, and now you know he's going to steal second base once he gets on first base. Bobby Bonilla's got my favorite hitting pose from the decade there. That's probably taken from a game situation because you see the blur behind him, but it's a good pose that would have, if he had just posed that way in the sets of the 60s or 70s, that would have been fine. 1993, have a few good action shots among the fielders. At second base, Craig Paquette there, the ball's just coming into his glove. Mark Grace looks pretty good at first, and Tom Pagnozzi catching. Another one of those hitting poses for Ricky Henderson batting leadoff, and he's followed by Tim Raines with the White Sox in this pose. And then you have some other good poses. Felix Jose and Rick Langford with the Cardinals during the era when they were both on the team. Lenny Dykstra there batting ninth for the Phillies. Next we have 1994. I think the best fielding pose in the whole decade is Will Clark at first base. I like it because it's a zoomed-in shot, and he's throwing the ball. I think that's a really good pose. Also in the field, Darrell Hamilton in center and Kenny Lofton in right. That's kind of the beginning of them being able to show people in air with the ball coming towards them. Both really good, real action shots, not poses. Gary Gaetti at second base, that might be during a practice session, but it looks like the ball's actually hit to him. I don't think that's a pose that he did. But so everyone in that group there is a real game situation. Ivan Rodriguez throwing the ball from the catcher position is a good shot also. Among the hitters, I think Odby McDowell, that's a really good pose. That's almost the best one for the decade. It's the best one for this year. If that was not a game situation and it was just a pose compared to the ones of the 60s and 70s, that also would have been a really good shot. 95. Got the fielders on the left. Brett Barbary at second's got a pretty good pose. Among the hitters, Derek Bell batting seventh there is a pretty good pose. Nothing really that spectacular. Bo Jackson is batting ninth. That's pretty interesting to see Bo Jackson baseball card. He had some really good years. 96, Nomar Garciaparra, or no, it's not Garciaparra. It's the Red Sox. I'm thinking it is, but it's Valentine at second base. I mean at shortstop, making a good play. And then you have some action shots in the outfield along the wall there in Wrigley Field in center. And then Ray Durham is in right field. Among the hitters, they're all game situations. Joe Carter and Eddie Murray are down at the bottom, really good players. In 1997, I think this is Roger Clemens' best pose. He's pitching here for the 97 favorite action shots team. Edgardo Alfonso is at third base. And among the hitters, they're all game shots. None of them really that good among the hitters. Batting third, Hunter is pretty good pose at third. Or though it's not a pose, it's an action shot, but that came pretty well. These sets now from like 97, 98, 99, it's harder to see like the name of the player. It's even not just the pictures I have of them, if you have the actual card in front of you, because of glare and the way that the picture's taken, it's not as easy to see them as in a lot of other years. Here's 98. Piazza catching's got a nice pose. Stevens at first base has got a good one. I really like Edgar Renteria at shortstop. You can kind of feel him gliding over towards the ball. Travis Fryman at third's got a good pose. Good action shot at second base there too. Jim Edmonds in center. That's a really neat picture. You see the ball coming down to his gloves, so they timed that really well. I would have liked it if it could have been a bit more of a close-up. Maybe they showed it at the distance so you could see how far he had to run to get to the ball. Then among the hitters there, nothing really of note or that great a pose. Wade Boggs with the Yankees towards the end of his career, and Pete Shurk at batting third. That's a pretty good pose. And then 99 to wrap up the decade. Ricky Henderson is there with the Mets in left field, running towards the ball. It looks like that's practice before a game. It must be because he's got a jacket on. And there's some good action shots at third and short. And I don't know if that's Posada catching. Is a good pose. Among the hitters, they're all kind of from a distance and kind of not that good compared to the sets of the 60s and 70s. But I think that these were the best that there were for that year. So here's the 90s. If you appreciate seeing this, please give me a like, and I'll post up some more years in the future. Thanks.